Guys, upon request from one of my subscribers, we're going to do a quick little video here on kind of a how-to. I'll go ahead and let my buddy here take over.
All right. Well, I've got a burned one here, and I'm trying to remove some of the solder from its feet here, so it'll come off easier. That looks like hell, and my needle is not clean.
And just something to remember, guys, I've seen other guys do this, and they were a lot sloppier. These boards are made pretty well.
Okay.
So
pull that off the board.
He's being extremely careful.
I'm trying. That's so dirty, damn it. I want to start a little more clean than that. Remove some of the resin from it. I don't know where it gets all that.
I'm not sure. There was resin on the glass as well when we took it apart to clean it.
They must vaporize the little chip when they burn up. So I'm going to try. I've been having trouble removing these Zener diodes in the past, because only one side comes off at a time, and there's no give on it. So
that's see what he's doing, guys?
Remove.
He's removing the Zener diodes now.
I'm removing the solder. I'm trying to, at least, as much of it as I can, and then it'll come off a lot easier, because I don't want to end up damaging the runs underneath. The board's a hell of a lot more expensive than everything else.
And this is taking a slightly bit longer because he's using that wick. Like I said, I've seen other videos where, I mean, they're just literally ripping the dials out of there with their soldering tool.
Well, I have a 30-watt iron here. I'm sure those guys have better irons, and this is a piece of junk.
But it can be done, people. There you go, see?
There you go. Okay. I'm going to try to clean it up a bit. Get a fresh wick here. Try to scrub the rest of it out of there. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Just want to remove. Ooh, yeah, it lost heat pretty quickly.
Just let it heat up.
Yeah. I really should have brought a more powerful iron.
Sorry, excuse me.
Get some flux, maybe it can help with that.
And what's that you're using there?
It's solder flux. Helps the solder kind of flow through the target and, take hold on the pad. Helps the heat flow a little better. Probably shouldn't be breathing that shit.
That's why we opted to do this outside.
Yeah. That still looks filthy. I'm going to try to clean it up a bit. Windex.
So he's just
most of that crap off of there.
He's just cleaning the surrounding area before he goes ahead and places a brand new 5-watt diode down. See how that's cleaning up rather nicely?
5 watts a piece?
Yeah.
No wonder it gets warm.
And another thing too, guys, I've been doing my research. Granted, the diodes that I have were all due to warranty facilitation. I haven't done too much research, but the research I have done, these 5-watt diodes in 440 are almost $9 a piece, so they're not cheap. So, but before the day's end, maybe I'll post a link and I'll find some decently priced diodes for future use.
I'm sure you can get them cheaper at Mouser Electronics or something like that. I'm still going to put some flux on. And
I do have a few people kind of chiming in. They're worried about replacing their diodes if they happen to go out. I do know that some of these lamps have been issue free for over a year, but if it does happen, it's not that hard to do.
I wish I had an actual sponge. That doesn't look good at all.
And another thing too, for some YouTubers and growers out there that are worried about having to do this yourself down the road, the company does offer a domestic source to have this done. by someone else. If you're not comfortable doing it, or if you just don't know anyone, they do have someone that can do it. I opted just to get the diodes. I thought it'd just be faster that way.
If you put some of the flux on the pads first, it'll stick a lot easier. And also, don't use a dirty ass point like that, but I have no choice right now. I don't have anything else. So I'm going to grab another zener. I'm going to be real careful not to lose these little bastards. You want to make sure your polarity is proper. You don't want to end up reversing these guys. There, he flew out. Alright, so there's a little arrow that's pointing that way, and on every other diode on the board, that blue side to the diode is facing that direction. So
Should I zoom in?
Copying that.
Should we zoom in on that? Can we see that?
Sure.
Do you guys see that blue there? That blue on the
It's on the left side.
Yeah, on the Zener diode. That's how they go in. Blue side on the left.
The Zener diode's job is to kind of act as a regulator and make sure that the right voltage is reaching the diode, or the light emitting diode, even if the voltage on the other side changes a little bit. Don't burn it up. That's sloppy. Maybe I can get it down.
I think we'll be alright.
Yeah, but it's sloppy. I'm not proud of it. Yeah, it's connected, but
Nice.
it's not,
See, guys, pretty easy.
not very nice looking. Now for the light emitter. I really wish I knew exactly what model we had here so we can purchase them.
I did find some 440s online. That's what the manufacturer told me these were. Like I said, these are $9 to $10 a piece. But
Right.
I did find that electronic site, and oh my goodness, there's quite a few of them.
Now, for those of you who are worried about polarity, there's an easy way to check. I didn't see it at first, but there's a little itty-bitty hole on the negative side right there. It wasn't very obvious on the already installed diodes because they were already soldered and it filled in the hole. But if you have a voltmeter with a diode checking function on it, you can set it to that in the resistance setting, and then touch on the diode and see if it lights a little bit. I don't know if you
There
can
it
see
is.
that on
Yes. It's lighting
the
up.
video,
Blue.
but if you got it right, if you got it, you know, positive side and negative side right, it'll light, just like the others.
Yeah, it's a red.
So that way you can tell if your polarity is correct. So, before I put it on, I want to make sure we put heatsink grease on it, because otherwise it will overheat.
And another thing too, guys, some of the other how-to videos I saw on how to do this, I don't remember the...
They didn't put the grease on?
Exactly. So...
It's just going to burn up later. Okay. Let's see if I can do this without burning another one of your diodes.
Oh, it's fine. It'll still emit light.
Yeah, but it's sloppy, man. I've already... Look at that. Right there.
It's not that big of a deal.
That.
I mean, once I find a inexpensive source for these diodes, I mean, maybe for shits and giggles down the road, we can replace a few. Maybe I like to give it a whirl too.
I should put some flux on it.
That's flux he's using there. Aaron, what is that?
It's solder flux. It's paste flux, and it helps facilitate the binding to the pads. When I was younger, I didn't realize I actually needed flux, and for a long time I was having trouble with my solder joints. I still do, but this makes it a lot easier to put some of this stuff on there. It was like discovering the proper way to do things, and that I've been doing things the wrong way for a long time. It's kind of an eye-opener. So once I have that flux on there and I heat it up, as soon as I can get it to like stay on, I'm smearing the heatsink grease everywhere. It kind of just melts along and helps the pad attach. And I totally did it on the wrong side there. That is not okay. Ah, damn it. Get off of there.
See, guys, pretty easy.
This one's not being easy for some reason. I gotta
Yeah. I'm just
make
sitting
sure
here.
I'm lined up on the other side there.
I'm just sitting here recording, but see how quickly he put that on, took it off? You know,
The flux helps with that. Let's see if I can do this without burning myself again. Alright, on the other side, go ahead and touch down on it and see if we can't get it to sit. I guess that's close enough. I think that's sitting right next to the board. There we go. It's sloppy as hell. I'm not proud of that.
it's replaced.
Yes, but it's sloppy.
You know, this isn't a showpiece.
That one didn't go very well.
This isn't a showpiece light by any means, guys. This goes in my little indoor space. It's got one job to do on a daily basis, and that's it. So it's
You can remove the flux with some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, 70%, 90%, whatever. If you want to get in there with a brush, and I'm not using that. I'm cheating and using Windex or whatever, which I doubt will hurt anything.
No.
Maybe it will, maybe it won't.
we're in the outdoors, and it's pretty dry up here this time of year.
You know, I've also heard from a lot of people that, you know, you could just leave it on there. It's not really going to hurt anything. But I like to remove it as much as I can.
And the reason why I broke down and did this today, guys, I did have the issue with the burnt diodes on the board, as you can see, but the lamp was working fine. It was actually as of yesterday morning that I noticed these two bays here were off, and I had 4 little diodes here that were off as well. So that's when we opted to go ahead and do this. So, but like I said, the lamp was working perfectly, even with the burnt diodes. Even the burnt diodes were still emitting, you know, some type of light. Like I said, the only reason why I broke down and did it was because 2 rows were just down and out.
14. Okay, I see.
What are you doing there?
I just randomly testing some of the other diodes.
Nice.
See what I get out of them. I suppose I could test the ones that are already on the board on some of these instead of replacing both by default.
Does that replacement one emit light? I think the guys at home would like to see it.
Yeah. Just
There
barely.
you go, blue. There you go, guys. See how easy that is?
And I got to do it, what, 10 more times and 15 more times?
Yeah, we'll see.